What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got both of the 240s in here. So we aren't going to be working on this guy today. We just got this in here because I got to make sure we got coolant in it. It's about to be super cold here, so I want to make sure we don't crack the engine block, and we got to take the injectors out, get them cleaned and flowed because that's on E85. But what we are going to work on today is the purple nurple here. So this car is, hood open for you. This has a stock 5.3 in it. It has a BTR stage 4 truck cam in it, and then basically I went through the whole thing. New gaskets everywhere, timing chain, oil pump, got the heads redone, and it's got a T56 in it. So, biggest problem right now, if you look on our hood here, is we are hitting the throttle body. We got a bunch of dents right in the middle there. See the throttle body where it's been hitting right there and around that white line up there. So to fix this, we got something for you. So naturally, instead of getting a new hood to fix the dents or get the dents fixed, we got nice new LSA Supercharger here. I say new, but lower unit is a used one that came with the messed up isolator. So I got a new isolator here. We'll swap that out. And I got a brand new ZL1 lid for it. So brand new from GM. They make these, I think they're like 950 bucks, and you can get the lower units. I think it was like 1200 for the lower. So got all that. The snout is currently out getting new bearings in it, a new shaft, and the new pulley put on. So I'll show you that here. We'll go more into this in a few minutes, but this is the new pulley for it. And I'll show you some footage right now of me trying to take off the pulley for the supercharger. So in doing that, that was like absolutely impossible. Could not get off, was breaking the actual pulley trying to do it. And then at the end, while working on it, I dropped it on the floor. And once I spun the bearings after, I was kind of like, something doesn't sound right. So I sent that off. They'll be able to pull it off, press the new pulley on, and we'll get a fresh snout coming back to put onto this. So a few other things we got. This is a small little Bosch pump that will be able to pump the water and the coolant for this. We got a overflow coolant tank that was made for an S14, and we're going to modify this, make it a little bit bigger, and allow us to put this new cap on it so we can use it as an ice box. So got that. These are just some airflow rails. You can see I got that one on there, a little bit dirty. And then this is our water, basically just a large radiator that'll go in the front along with the water system. So be able to stay cool while you're driving around, and we can also put ice in it if we're racing it or anything like that. Of course, we wouldn't be racing it, you know, this is like a daily driver. Last thing we have is for the throttle cable that I already put on the car. This is for motion, and this will allow us to run a drive-by cable throttle body, which is already on there. So let's go into this pulley here, if it would focus on it. All right, so the car is already set up with an A1000 fuel pump in the rear. Has E85 line throughout the car, so already set up with that. Injectors on the car, I believe they're 80 pounds, but they might be 65 pounds. So we should be relatively okay with those injectors. And then, because it is such a tight space in here, the spacing for the LSA or the truck spacing is all going to be too much because it would run into our radiator. So I have F-body spacing for everything on here. I always run a Corvette spacing water pump and then just space it out in the rear. The reason I do that is, it's hard to see down there, but the snout that's on the F-body one sticks out a lot further. This just gives you, I believe, about a ½ inch more room so that we don't run into the radiator. Now, this pulley, the actual piece that this bolts onto is getting pressed on right now. And this will allow us to run a 6-rib or an 8-rib setup with the F-body accessories. So it does a really good job, gets a lot of wrap around the pulley so we don't get slippage, but I do need to get an upgraded heavy duty tensioner here because this one will probably cause slip. So let's go ahead and get this intake setup off, and this is actually going to go on to one of our other projects, which is coming up soon. But yeah, let's get this off and then get the supercharger sat on there so we can start looking at how everything fits. All right, so I got the supercharger sitting in there. That thing is super heavy, trying to get that in there. But one thing is, I don't know how low this is gonna sit, but I think where the issue in the hood is, right there, is gonna kind of miss the supercharger, but I don't know, we'll see. Once the snout's on there, hopefully it sits a little further out and we'll still have to be able, or we'll still cut that piece out. A few other things, now I'll be able to get my different fuel rail fittings to work out exactly where all the fuel rails are gonna go. I'm gonna have to change up some fittings on the steam vent kit, get that going. I'll change over all the injectors out of there. We'll probably do that next. And then the other thing is where I'm gonna put all this wiring. So before it went underneath the intake and hid this really well. This does need spacers on it because the LSA blower is a square port and these heads are cathedral ports. So we'll need to grab a set of adapter plates, which might, once those are in, might give us a little room where we can sneak the wiring harness through. So we'll see once we get that going. But I'm gonna pull this back off and get all the injectors swapped over. All right, guys, so all the injectors are swapped over. Fuel rails are mounted onto the LSA. Got it back in there, just sitting in there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think I'm gonna cut it off here just because now I gotta order a bunch of stuff to make everything work. Needed to get it to this point so I can see, okay, what do we need for the steam vent kit? What do we need for the fuel rails to make everything work within this? So waiting on all those pieces to come in, snout to come in. Then we'll have the new pulley on there. So we can figure out the belt routing situation, as well as our water tank and modifying that. So that'll be all in the next video. So let me know what you guys think. We're definitely gonna have two badass 240s, and you know, LS swap's never enough. So you gotta at least have a twin turbo one and a supercharged one. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm excited to get this thing going, and we'll see you in the next one.